Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Timone Answers Everything. Timone Answers Everything is not like Timone Show or social media news. This is a show where you all, well, I will make a thread on Facebook, and then you all will ask questions and you want me to answer with my expertise. And there's actually two questions from previous episode, I think it's just the last episode, where I've actually come to new realizations of what um, exactly they are, or whatever, or just um, deeper analysis into my own psyche has allowed me to look further into this stuff. I'm not saying I did any research because this is something I don't do. It's just, this is me feeding you the knowledge of a god for free. And the first one I wanted to get back on was what exactly is string theory? And here's what I think string theory is. You know, like every time you see a movie or a TV show, and they got all the fucking pictures on the wall, and they got all the strings attaching stuff from one another. They did it really crazy in Heroes. Like he had strings going all the way across the room, then shit hanging from the strings, like different pictures and whatever. Like that is string theory, dude. Just attaching like unrelated events and then finding a way to connect them somehow into some sort of uh, uh, case or conspiracy or whatever you're working on. And then the next question was what is the best movie ever made? And I was doing just watching some videos on YouTube, and I watch a lot of film critics. And they were talking about a lot of people just kept on talking about how good Gone with the Wind is and how it's like critically acclaimed and all that stuff. So and again, that's another movie I haven't seen, but I'm pretty sure that might be the best movie of all time. And then okay, and that's it for the re-answering of older questions. Now we're gonna begin with this. And I told you guys last week how I was gonna finish reading this article, and I never did. So I'm just gonna base off from what I just read. I read about a quarter to a half of it. It was long. Um, but it was at the beginning. It was a lot of quotes from political leaders of the United States, and I think there was some others from across the world. Um, but they were loosely talking about greater powers above federal governments, and they're like basically implying like Illuminati, or one even said Illuminati, or and he came up with other words for it. It doesn't matter what you call them; it's the higher form. That's basically what saying. It is a form of government above everything else. That controls the world. And then yeah, so then you had a bunch of people talking about there was one from JFK. Um, I think there might have been one from Martin Luther King. Um, but I think the article was mainly just uh, trying to determine if you believe in that form of a higher power, and I absolutely do. I don't know if they're as dangerous as what we perceive or whatever. I mean, our own government's already pretty dangerous. And I will put the article in the description below, but so then you guys can all read it and decide for yourself if it's lunacy or it's legit. And on to that one, we'll go on to the next question. Does a straw have two holes or one? It's a tunnel. So a tunnel is always just one hole that it goes from one spot to another. And you can poke holes in the straw and there's going to be more holes. But anything like a tunnel like that, like a hose, is just one hole, except for the ones that are like flat and has the holes poked in it for like designed to sprinkle your lawn. And but other than that, yeah, it's just one hole. It's a tunnel. It's like pipes or whatever, and then you can connect two straws together. It's still just one hole. How does how does a 2D circle become a 3D ball instead of a tube? Um, I just think that's just from however you do your 3D rendering. Even there was even a lot of aspects in two-dimensional video games that had a little bit of 3D in them. Like you could see stuff. There would be stuff sometimes in the foreground, like on 2D platformers like Mario and stuff, or like Castlevania. There'd be stuff in the foreground and then stuff in the background, giving you a sort of three-dimensional feel in a two-dimensional world. And just I guess when you 3D a circle, the next logical thing would is to form it into a ball. Like when you have a square, it will turn into a box. The same thing with a rectangle will turn into more of a like a brick or whatever sort of the dimensions of the rectangle. But a square will always turn into a block. Um, I but I don't know why it wouldn't why a circle also wouldn't turn into a cylinder. I think that just all depends on the rendering, but it can just as easily turn into a cylinder and it's just as well as a ball. And if that's all you got for me, and freaking bring it. All right. What's the average airspeed of a swallow? Oh man, this is a Monty Python joke that I don't know. Um, I don't know, man. I'm a fucking 25 miles an hour, and then they spit when they're done. Ooh, this is a good. What is my comic dream team? First of all, how many members can this consist of? Because I can do like three perfect people, and you'll be like, you got Spider-Man, Peter Parker, the Scarlet Spider, Ben Riley, and you got Spider-Man, Miles Morales. There's a triple threat right there that really nobody can contend with. Um, uh, no, I do love Spider-Man that much, but I will do Ben Riley Spider-Man, or yeah, Ben Riley's version of no, he's back Scarlet Spider. I will do Ben Riley Scarlet Spider. Um, no, John Constantine from Constantine, of course. Um, Storm, Storm's fucking badass. And along with Storm, we'll have Rogue from the X-Men. She's fucking badass. And we'll do one more. We'll have a 5-man team. Um, we'll go back into some with DC. Uh, Green Lantern, Kyle Rayner, and you can fight me if you don't agree. Who was your comic dream team? Let me know. Put it in the comments below, and we'll see who. We can have like a comic team death battle, and see whose team comes out on top. I got Spider-Man, Scarlet Spider, John Constantine, Storm, Rogue, and Green Lantern. Bring it. Do you take the same advice you give to others? Um, it's really circumstantial. If I'm giving advice to a woman and it, like, I guess applies directly to like womanhood, no, I can't take that advice. Um, if this question's implying that this is an advice giving show, I mean, it can be if the question deems it appropriate. And, I mean, I think am capable of giving good advice, but, um, when it comes to proper execution, I might not have the best delivery service. Uh, I mean, I like instead of a mailman, I have an executioner. Um, uh, I don't know. Yeah, of course. I'm not just gonna give off terrible advice and just watch you suffer and me laugh. I mean, nah, who's a kid? I will do that. But if you don't know that I'm joking when I'm giving you terrible advice, that is your own fault, in my opinion, anyway. And, okay, next question. YTF can't pillowcases stay on the pillows? I don't know, you're just doing it wrong. Um, I have a couple pillows, and they're my favorite pillows that don't like to stay in the pillowcases. Those I don't know, but all my other pillows seem to be fine, and those are the ones that like people usually like. They're like nice and stiff. I like these ones that can like flex and like wrap around my head. I'm like the type that used to be like full of fucking feathers, but then a lot of them have fallen out, and now it's gotten. I don't know. Those ones are my favorite pillows. Like you can just morph them to however you want your head to rest. And I have two of them, and one of them always falls out, and the other one, I can catch it. But all my other pillows seem to be fine. So, yeah, you're probably just doing it wrong. I think pillows and pillowcases are like at a universal size, so I'm not gonna, we can't say like you got the wrong size pillowcases, dumbass. So, but I can say that for this next question here. Why can't sheets stay on the mattress? You've got the wrong size sheets. That's all I'm telling you. You got the wrong size sheets. If your sheets can't stay on the mattress, you got the wrong size sheets. It's usually the blankets that you have over the sheets. Because I have like a bunch of just like bed size blankets, and I'll put those over the sheets, and then I'll put my comforter whatever on top. So I'll have those extra blankets in case I need them if I get extra cold or whatever in the night. It's like I don't know, my body temperature fluctuates, and yeah, it's like Um, yeah, my body, yeah, it's I don't know, man. You got a problem that can easily be fixed. Get bigger sheets. Will the Eagles beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl? Huh. Um, Statistically, the Patriots seem to win a lot, and they also seem to have all sorts of like scandals against them, like oh they're cheating. I mean, but that could just be people being salty and being like just be like because they win a lot, like no they can't be winning that much, they gotta be cheating. So then they or you deflated the balls. I'm like I'll deflate your balls, and um but then again, so you'll have a lot of people rooting for the Eagles because they're the underdogs. They've never won a Super Bowl and they're in it. Um, you can imagine if the Eagles win, like the people in Philadelphia will freaking riot. Like, oh my god. But my money, if I was a betting man, would go to the Eagles. I'm the type of guy that roots for the underdog, and I think they can bring it. And I'm just really looking forward to seeing those riots in Philadelphia. That would be really interesting to see. They're gonna go crazy. Um, what is the best thing that ever happened to me? I mean, that's the best thing to happen to everybody. It's the day you're born. Although you can't remember it, you're you're being brought into this this world that doesn't make any sense. You're being brought into this chaos, and at that time, you don't know any better but to think that everything is amazing, and everything is just like you're just wowed by the world, and I guess um maybe like each day up until you have to start like socializing with other kids. Those are the best days of your life. The best things that can ever happen to you are in those first like 4 years of your life. Like socializing with your family, like your brothers or sisters or cousins and whatever. That doesn't count as going out and like having to like meet your neighbors and all that freaking awkward shit. Um, yeah, dude, the best thing that ever happened to me would be something like I don't know, man. The day I figured out, like the day I discovered drawing or something. I remember reading my first book. It was a Clifford the Dog book, and that I remember I was really excited, and I wanted to show my grandmother how I knew how to read now, and I can finish a whole book. And I don't remember her reaction to it. I just remember like just being really excited, and I can do it by myself, and I didn't need help, and um uh maybe once I was allowed to cross the street by myself. um I don't know, like a lot of the best things that ever happened in childhood. I can't really pick a singular moment that might be. I don't know. Yeah, but I think all the best things that ever happened to me in my early childhood. When you're getting like new freedoms and new responsibilities, and you're growing in the world. You're learning what the world's about slowly, really slowly it seems, but like oftentimes we just always want to go back. And I'm sorry if that one wasn't that great. Uh, it's just a really hard question. You have to like really go back and uh, man, you have to like just really go back and analyze your whole life and put it into a perspective and into a ranking system and you can't and I can't even 100% accurately recall all of my memories. It's like every time you try to look back on memories, you always slightly alter things in a way unknowingly, and sometimes it is knowingly, but you keep on telling the story or looking at things in the way you wanted, then it just becomes being that reality. And and some of us try to remember our memories as accurately as possible, but it sometimes we just can't. I mean, as you know what I'm saying. If you don't, I'm sorry. Uh, you can ask me what I was saying, and I'll tell you in the comments below. What is your favorite meme? Oh man, I should have downloaded a picture of that while I was typing the questions out. My favorite meme. Oh my god, man, I'm a real big fan of condescending Wonka, especially like early in the like 2010, 2011 era, dude. Like the condescending Wonka was the dude, and that like Success Kid. Like you always see him, he's holding his fist out, and he's like, "Yeah, fucking did it." Uh, Ugandan Knuckles is great. Um, this is another one, dude. Like anytime someone asks me my favorite anything, dude, I can never give them the answer that they're looking for because it's so hard to choose a favorite anything. It's like it's because then I feel like I'm dismissing everything else that's great, and this is memes for and other memes, and then I'm choosing this one particular as the supreme ruler of all memes, and nothing else can even compare. And I think a lot of memes can't you can't use you can't there's not a single meme that you can use in every single situation. So like every meme has its time and its place, and it's also gonna have its life expectancy. You know, some live and die within months, some will last years, some die and then get brought back in like a bad comic book plot. And and yeah, so I can just give you a list of my favorites, and I gave you some. Uh, any of them that are like based out quotes from a movie, like they had that one rock movie with the kids or whatever, and that one is always good because this Rock's reaction and his eyes are all bugged out and shit like he used to do in WWF. He used to just be like, "Oh, have his eyes bugged out." People would be like, "You're an asshole," or whatever. He'd be like, "Yeah." He'd be like looking like he just smoked a bunch of fucking crack, and he'd be ready to fucking pounce on anybody talking shit. And that's when Rock wasn't like the monster that he is now. That's when Rock was just like a regular big dude. And but yeah, there was kind of saying Wonka, Success Kid, the stuff that like when they just misquote movie scenes or whatever, and it ends up fitting. Sponge Gar was good for a while. Ugandan Knuckles, obviously. Yeah, there's a lot of good ones. I can't um pick a favorite meme. Um, and I think we got about time for one more. That's a good one too. Oh man. Was it ever really peace on Earth? I'm gonna change that here to hold on, hold on, dog. Was there ever really peace on Earth? And Aries, stop, go. And I'm gonna, sorry about that. My dog was crying for no reason. I'm just about ready to finish this episode, and he knows that. Um, yeah, no, there was never ever peace on Earth. There's always some sort of chaos going somewhere in the world. It's not even always necessarily by humans. There's always animals, uh, uh, that will turn on each other. Like I'm not only just talking about animals eating each other from the food chain and the circle of life and all that. Like you'll see like warring like animal tribes of of monkeys and like the big cats and other things like that. Like then there's others that like obviously stick together, but you have rival clans of animals, whatever, that will kill other members of other clans, whatever, if it means that if that's what they got to do to eat that night or whatever. And then there was always people going to war. I don't know if there was ever any time where there was like some sort of peaceful civilization. Um, and because of that, and this is why I think that like go back to um just the beginning, I guess, or like even in the Bible, dude, the first two kids, Cain and Abel, the first two kids, like they're like, no, fuck you, and the other one's like, no, fuck you, and the other one's like, well, no, maybe we can get along, and the other one's like, no, fuck you, we can't get along, I'm gonna kill you, and so like, and that could speak it right there just for the biblical people or the religious people, but but you just look at how like how fast people were advancing, and then there was a period where it just slowed down, and like the Sahara Desert wasn't always a desert. It used to be like a flourishing like rainforest. It was nice and beautiful land. They got actual like archaeological evidence of like different animals and stuff that were living there that can't live in a desert climate. So I think there was something massive that went on there. Like maybe there was a time when Africa was even more advanced than I don't know. They were just super advanced to a point of I don't know something, and people either feared or wanted technology for themselves and they couldn't get it, or whatever. And something happened in the Sahara land that just completely freaking destroyed it, turned it into the wasteland or the desert or whatever that it is now. And 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 with that, I'm gonna leave you guys with how do you feel about my answers to these questions. As you see, I keep the list for you so you can answer the questions or you can pinpoint questions that you think that we can have a further discussion on that you think I got completely wrong or what. So yeah, leave your comments in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and we will see you next week.